Hi everyone, and welcome to 164 Diecast. In our video today, we are looking at the Hot Wheels Redline Club exclusive single, Lincoln Continental for 1961. This highly detailed 1/64 scale car was an exclusive to members of the Mattel Redline Club and could only be purchased online through the club. The car color is Spectraflame True Black with a pearl white interior and is packaged in an acrylic case with a decorative outer box. The Mattel product number is HMY24. You can see this car on the Mattel Redline Club website at and find additional information about this casting here. The 2024 Redline Club 1961 Lincoln Continental is widely considered one of Mattel's most ambitious 1/64 scale projects to date. Released on August 13th, 2024, it stands out because it features 4 functioning doors, including the iconic rear suicide doors, a rare engineering feat for a car this size. This casting was designed by Brendan Vituski, who is known for his work on complex Redline Club models like the 1972 De Tomaso Mangusta. Because of the complexity of the 4 opening doors, the car was highly anticipated and sold out quickly upon its initial launch on Mattel Creations. If the Mattel RLC version is a masterpiece of miniature engineering, the real 1961 Continental was a masterpiece of mid-century industrial design. It didn't just save the Lincoln brand from being discontinued, it completely changed the trajectory of American luxury. In an era of massive tail fins and excessive chrome, think 1959 Cadillacs, the 1961 Continental was a shock to the system. Designed under Elwood angle, it featured a clean, understated, slab-sided look with chrome only used to highlight the knife blade tops of the fenders. This car was originally designed to be a Ford Thunderbird. When Ford executive Robert McNamara saw the clay model, he famously said, "That's a Lincoln," and ordered it to be repurposed to save the struggling luxury division. You can see the Thunderbird influence when you look at the front grille and headlamps. It was significantly smaller than the gargantuan 1960 models, over a foot shorter, making it easier to drive and park while looking far more sophisticated. The car is most famous for its rear hinge coach doors, popularly known as suicide doors. And they weren't just for style. Because the car was shortened, engineers found the rear passengers had a hard time getting in and out without hitting the rear wheel well. Hinging the doors at the back allowed for a much wider, more graceful entry. To prevent the doors from flying open while driving, Lincoln added a door ajar light to the dashboard, a major novelty for 1961. Lincoln marketed this car as being built to aircraft tolerances. Every single engine was bench tested before being installed, and every car was road tested for 12 miles before leaving the factory. The engine was a 430 cubic inch or 7.0 liter MEL V8 with 300 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. This massive engine was mated to a 3-speed turbo drive automatic transmission. For 1961, Lincoln offered the first mass-produced 4-door convertible since World War II. The complex top mechanism used 11 relays and several motors to fold the massive roof into the trunk. A modified 1961 Continental, codenamed SS-100X, was the presidential limousine used by John F. Kennedy. Its sleek look became synonymous with the Camelot era of the 1960s. Because the 1961 Continental used a unibody construction, where the body and frame are one, removing the roof on the convertible meant losing a massive amount of structural integrity. To prevent the car from sagging or cowl shaking, Lincoln engineers added massive amounts of steel reinforcement to the rocker panels and chassis. In the sedan, you have a relatively usable, although shallow, trunk. In the convertible, the top and its mechanical brains occupy almost the entire trunk space when the roof is down. Because the top mechanism had to be hidden in the rear quarters, the convertible's rear seat is slightly narrower than the sedan's full-width bench. The 1961 Continental wasn't just a car, it was a statement that less is more. It's no wonder Mattel chose it for their most complex Redline Club release of 2024. I hope you enjoyed this look at a classic vehicle intertwined into world history. And, as always, thank you for stopping by 164 Diecast. And we will see you on the next video.